Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers with your host, Slim the Silver Dragon. I've had some fun fiddling around with stuff. In the background on Space Engineers, designing interesting devices that do special things. Like a gravity-based gyroscope device that is supposed to keep your spaceship aloft while ignoring whatever rotation it is in. Or landers that land on structures, land on planets in spite of intense gravitational force. There's no artificial mass in this, I just have the mod for planetary gravity installed. And I'm using it here to demonstrate that. As you can see there. So, I ran into an interesting bug while doing some testing, and it caused me to waste several hours of my time finagling and fiddling with things. And it took me a while to figure out what was going on, and even when I finally did, I went to test it on a different world other than this one to see if it was a bug with the base game. The bug vanished. I came back here, bug was still gone, in spite of still having the mod. The problem with the bug's problem was something along the lines of, like, I could set up this, and depending on, like, the gravitational field that was currently affecting it, like that one there just plummeted through the ground. If it was under the effect of, say, actually right now it would still count. But that gravity center right there, it's the gravity inside that gyroscope that's spinning around, even though it's like really short range and only should affect the gyroscope itself, it was somehow exerting forces from the stuff on the gyroscope on the artificial mass blocks quite a ways away. And I don't know what was causing this bug. I can't really tell you because when I went to go test it, it kind of just vanished, and it never came back. It led to a lot of confusion on my part because I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on, and I was trying to figure out and test it and do consider different concepts of it, design something that could exploit it, and eventually it kind of backfired. Apparently in various ways, and then just tons of work on the idea just went poof into thin air. Yep, just went poof, just gone, nothing to be held, nothing to be shown. And I realized, like, some of the issues with the designs, and I was trying to work my way around them, and it was kind of interesting, considering, I mean, if you look at this is a pretty interesting idea. Like, these items are like, this gyroscope works based off of an idea that I was trying to make a gyroscope that would work on gravity. I got kind of stuck, and then I looked up what if somebody else had made something like this, and it's like, yeah, just use heavy armor and it'll do it. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. And so I made a planetary gravity gyroscope. So the heavy armor points it towards the planetary gravity, and then the regular gravity inside the field on the actual device will push it in the opposite direction. That way you can have like a counterbalancing weight of anti-grav to push this entire thing around, push this thing away from planetary gravity. I thought that was a really neat and remarkably useful ability, possibly. But yeah, it has its own issues. Considering when I first made this gyroscope, I built it a little bit differently, and it was a lot more stable. It would turn towards its direction and then just stop moving, rather than sliding up and down and back and forth and moving all around all over the place. It's like it would move towards its destination spot, even though it would take a moment to get up to speed to turn to the right direction. It would actually just stop. I tried turning up like the braking power on this, but it either just stops altogether, or it yeah. Just it's kind of annoying. I mean, I had a whole idea based around the fact that these artificial mass blocks were treating planetary gravity, or so I thought, as like opposite gravity, as opposed to the natural gravity, as opposed to normal gravity. And that whole idea of like normal gravity basically pulling artificial blocks away, whereas planetary gravity would be pulling it down. It was a neat kind of bug that made me think a lot about like artificial, like a hover engine, what basically would be anti-gravity engines for spaceships. I can play a few clips of that kind of idea in play because I actually recorded some of that. I was thinking about the whole process. Here's a clip right now. This kind of thing got me started thinking about like how you might design special craft that can fly in atmosphere surprisingly well while still maintaining an excellent amount of maneuverability and function. So I kind of took like one of these designs right here, and I was just going like, let's go ahead and start adding a whole bunch of like mass blocks into it. This does cause some issues with flight because, remember, it's adding basically mass, so you have to fight that mass when you're taking off and flying and such. But normally this thing wouldn't even be able to function within atmosphere. It would just not fly at all, because of the sheer weight that it had to pull itself up from. But after configuring the system with some mass blocks, it will fly, or even fly rather well. And that kind of little thing, I just felt like I should share this kind of thing, because this really does change how you might design your ships when they would otherwise need like a whole bunch of thrusters that overcome all kinds of subsystems that otherwise it wouldn't be able to manage. So I'm gonna quickly demonstrate this, of course. Like, sorry for background noise. Where is it? Maelstrom. Okay, we're just copying another one just for experiment, just to show this. I should have had it prepared ahead of time, but whatever. Okay, so right now I cannot lift off. I really can't. Full blast, nothing. I can slide around in the gravity, but I can't take off. Now this one that I've modified, well, I can take off. See? In fact, it will actually hang there, apparently, because I got enough mass balance there. So technically, I've just made one that can ignore natural gravity and fly relatively well in it, in fact. Although this has some issues. So, yeah. You saw there that I basically made a fighter that could supposedly hover in like planetary gravity, because it was being affected by anti-gravity that strong enough to lift it up. At least that's what I thought it was. It was because of the gyro bug, rotor gravity generator bug, whatever was going on there. It was affected by that, and that's why it was doing that. And it gave me some really neat ideas for like artificial gravity fighters that use like basically anti-gravity fighters that lift themselves up, utilizing that kind of system. It would make the fighters a lot more massive because of the I mean massive as in like mass, extended mass, and thus sluggish and less easy to control, but they would basically completely ignore gravity, or for the most part ignore it, and could actually just hover. And I was just imagining spaceships built on that same design, and I was really enjoying the whole concept of that personally, and I kind of got bummed out that it doesn't actually work that way. And I was just encountering a really strange bug that disappeared. Well, with that all said, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. I just wanted to comment about like some things I've been making, because I really am liking like the whole planetary planets and planetary gravity and all that kind of fun stuff that we might get to eventually play with in a future patch whenever it is released to the game. That'll be great. It'd be lots of fun. And I got kind of hyped up on all. I'm slightly hyped up on it a little bit, because obviously I've made some stuff here that's just kind of cool, honestly, in my opinion. It's like I mean, I made what effectively amounts to a pair of landers that they're basically an entire base built into a lander to land on a planet. So you want to go visit a planet, you want to go down there, you want to land, you want to collect resources, etc., etc., and you just want a little starter base to help you land down on a planet, or even take off from one. Technically, if you have the resources stocked up, you could jump in one of these like landers and land on it. And I've even made these landers a little bit overpowered to some degree or another, because they can actually land on like 3 times. This one, the Safe, can land on 3 times. 3.75, actually, I think. At least 3.5 times gravity planets if you're controlling it properly. When you land and you land on a nice flattish area, this will work perfectly fine and land on it safely. And same thing will go for the Wanderer. In fact, I think the Wanderer is even more powerful because it has even more thrusters and is about somewhat the same scale to some degree. I mean, this one's taller, this one's shorter. Actually, I think this one does have more stuff on it, so it's actually probably a little bit heavier, but at the same time it has a lot more thrust available to it with all of its engines. Instead of, I think this one has like 10, was it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah. 10, this one has 12. So it's got 2 additional thrusters. So it can outperform the Saith a little bit and perhaps land in a full 4 times gravity. I'd need to test it, but yeah. And I really like the Wanderer, just because I kind of like the squat design that I went for. I was kind of trying to make that originally, but I got kind of carried away when I was building the Saith, and it ended up turning into a tall design. But still, I really do like both of them a lot, and I just had to make them different. And yes, I know I spelt the names unusually. The Wanderer. It's supposed to be like Wanderer. But I played with the name so it looked interesting. And the Saith basically is the safe. because it was designed to be safe, a safe lander. Safe little base to land on a planet. And both of these have their own automatic defense turrets built on them. Like some turrets on this side and some turrets on this side. Same thing for this one. Even this one's actually more heavily armed. It's got 4 turrets on both ends. So, and 2 giant ones on top. So that's basically a grand total of 10 turrets to defend the Wanderer. So if alien spiders came along to pester you, your automatic defense system for your lander base would be very nice to ward them off, I think. It's a pretty nice idea, I feel. A really good kind of defense system. And it could land on pretty much on planets that, according to what I've heard, is basically not going to be in the game right now. Whenever they do add planets in, if I recall correctly, they said there's only going to be like one times gravity planets. Which kind of bummed me out, because I was like, oh man, we could have like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and so on, and mixture gravity levels for different planets. Some could be, and some of them would be like light gravity. I mean, apparently they will have moons, which will have be independent of planets in the gravitational fields. So they'll have like light gravity, which is very nice, honestly. I really appreciate that. But I was just thinking like I kind of forgot what I was going on there. Was my tangent completely derailed. Okay, anyway, yeah. So I had a strange bug. It got me to thinking about like anti-gravity and gravity systems, and I'm still just kind of debating to myself like how I might want to build a sort of anti-gravity or artificial gravity, an anti-gravity drive to help make large ships able to more easily manage like planetary gravity, so they can actually hover within normal gravity and completely ignore it, in spite of like being, you know, a massive starship floating there. I mean, basically what the gravity drive would do is it would function like, it basically tries to keep the vessel suspended as best as it can. And you saw the video with the clip with my the fighter, but imagine like a large scale starship that's kind of that kind of shape or something, and it just has a bunch of like anti-gravity, it has like an internal anti-gravity system using like this kind of stuff here, and it just hovers there in the gravity as long as like the inertia dampeners are on. It'll actually just hover over the planet. That would be freaking awesome, I think. I think that would be like on par with being one of the most awesome things you could do. Just having your starship just hover there in space over the planet. It costs power to keep it there, but that just seems like it'd be freaking amazing and awesome. But yeah, we don't have that. Well, now that I've rambled on about all that, I guess that's it for this episode, guys. It's just me rambling about stuff and being somewhat annoyed. Because I want hover blocks. And more specifically, if you've ever played the game Battlezone, Rise of the Black Dogs, or Battlezone 2 Combat Commander, I think it was, I really want hover systems that work like that for ships and vehicles and whatever. Just hover systems that imitate that kind of design where it hovers just off of the ground and that you can actually go up and down and it will cushion itself automatically, it'll increase depending on its proximity to the ground, and increase or decrease as it gets farther away, and so you can like raise your ship up into the air and then come back down and but not actually slam into the ground. That kind of design is... I want to be able to build bases exactly like those bio ships that they had. That'd be freaking awesome on so many levels, I think. But I don't know if I'll ever see that because, you know, at least probably not in the base game. That's probably not going to happen. Because they're too much focused on the realism factor for the game. It's like, oh, hover drives? Gravity, anti-gravity fields, and other fun stuff like this. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do over there at Keen. I do like what they're doing. I mean, this game is freaking awesome as it is. It's, to me, this is like Minecraft 2.0. After playing this game, I don't want to go back to Minecraft for most reasons. It's just like, why? Why would you? I mean, Minecraft is nice and all. It has its own advantages. I mean, it has more story and progression. But the whole idea of just being able to do this with a floating base that you built, this just blows Minecraft out of the water for me. It gives you so much possibilities, so many much more possibilities for just what you can do. And you can still basically change the terrain and destroy it and rebuild it if you want to. I mean, not in the base survival right now, but I'm getting carried away with my rambling. There's just so many things I like about this game more than I do about Minecraft. The only thing I feel Minecraft still has over it at this point in time is that it has more depth to it. There's more interesting things that you can do in Minecraft at this point in time in terms of, like, survival-wise. Because right now, when you play survival Space Engineers, you've got cargo ships to raid, pirates that might attack you, and a small tree of things to develop. There's no like final bosses or upgraded or things to go find out there and easily find. I mean, technically you can go out there and find stuff due to the exploration improvements to the game, but the heck if you're gonna find them in that great big empty space without like some kind of method of sensing it. And radar mods seem to have periodically issues with it, making it work properly. I'd really like to see the game implement an automatic radar system and some better UI control, some better UIs for this stuff. And I'd like to see a lot of improvements here and there and all throughout the entire thing, but I don't know. I'm rambling. I've just got off of the fact that I don't have artificial gravity blocks effectively that can counterbalance planetary gravity. And I'm still annoyed about that. And it's just making me ramble about all these other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the video here because, yeah. Sorry to ramble. It's a great game. This is a great game. I think it's better than Minecraft. And I hope it will continue to improve in the future and awesome things keep happening. But until then, till new stuff comes around the bend, I guess that's it for this episode. I'll be recording. Salenvo out.